Once upon a time, in a grand kingdom filled with bustling markets and colorful streets, there lived an emperor who was obsessed with his appearance. This emperor was not concerned with governing wisely or taking care of his people. His only concern was his wardrobe. Every day he tried on new outfits. And every week he held a grand parade just so his subjects could admire his latest attire. One day, two mysterious strangers arrived in the kingdom. They claimed to be master weavers of the finest cloth in all the world. Their fabrics, they said, were not only exquisitely beautiful, but also had a magical quality. They could not be seen by anyone who was foolish or unfit for their position. The emperor, intrigued and flattered, immediately hired the weavers to create him a new set of clothes. He thought to himself, with such magical garments, I'll be able to identify who among my court is wise and who is not. And of course, I'll look magnificent in the process. The weavers set up their looms in the grand palace and pretended to work tirelessly, day and night. They demanded the finest gold thread and the most vibrant silk, which the emperor provided without question. However, there was one problem. The weavers were nothing more than cunning tricksters. They pocketed the gold and silk while their looms remained empty. As time went on, the emperor grew curious. He sent his most trusted minister to check on the progress. When the minister entered the workshop, he saw nothing. The looms were empty, but the tricksters pretended to hold up invisible fabric, exclaiming, "Isn't this cloth magnificent? Look at the intricate patterns and the shimmering colors." The poor minister, afraid of being labeled foolish or unfit for his position, nodded enthusiastically. Yes, it is truly splendid," he lied. When he returned to the emperor, he praised the fabric as the most exquisite he had ever seen. Soon, the emperor himself decided to inspect the work. When he entered the workshop, he too saw nothing. But, like his minister, the emperor dared not admit it. Instead, he marveled at the fabric, exclaiming, "This is truly extraordinary. I must have clothes made from this material immediately." The day of the grand parade arrived. The tricksters pretended to dress the emperor in his new clothes, fussing over him as if arranging invisible sleeves and hems. "These garments are so light and airy," they said. "It will feel as though you're wearing nothing at all." The emperor stood before a large mirror, admiring his reflection, or at least pretending to. His courtiers, who didn't want to seem foolish, also gushed over his magnificent attire. Finally, the emperor marched out into the streets for his parade. The people of the kingdom had heard of the magical fabric and were eager to see it. But when the emperor appeared, wearing nothing but his undergarments, they were struck silent. No one wanted to admit they couldn't see the clothes for fear of being deemed stupid or unworthy. So they cheered and clapped, shouting, "How beautiful! What a masterpiece!" But then a small child, too young to understand the pretense, called out, "The emperor isn't wearing any clothes!" The crowd fell silent. People began to murmur, and soon laughter rippled through the streets. "The emperor has no clothes!" they cried. The emperor's face turned red, but he held his head high and continued the parade, pretending as if nothing was amiss. After all, he thought, the show must go on. As for the tricksters, they had long since fled the kingdom, their bags heavy with gold. The emperor, though humiliated, learned an important lesson that day. Vanity and pride can leave even the most powerful person looking foolish. And from that day forward, he vowed to focus less on his clothes and more on being a wise and just ruler. What we learn from the emperor's new clothes vanity can lead to foolishness. Obsession with appearances can make us blind to reality. Honesty matters. Speaking the truth, even when others won't, is courageous and important. Don't succumb to peer pressure. Fear of judgment shouldn't stop us from thinking independently. Question what you're told. Blind trust can lead to being deceived. Wisdom and simplicity. A child's honest perspective can reveal the truth adults ignore. Good leaders value truth. Leaders should listen to honesty, not flattery. The story reminds us to value truth, integrity, and independent thinking over pride and pretense.
Enjoyed this story? Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and join us for more inspiring tales and life lessons. Tap the bell icon to stay updated on our latest uploads. Your support means the world to us.